Hi, Taurus. Happy New Year. Happy New Year, Taurus. Okay, so I have some stuffed peppers in the oven, and we're going to go until that timer's up, okay? What's the first card? We have Scorpio energy. Perfect. Okay. Wait, is this a Scorpio reading? Nope. So maybe Scorpio in your chart, Scorpio person could be important. This card particularly says investigate. So maybe someone's like looking for something. I feel like they find it, Mercury, yeah. They find it, Mercury and Scorpio. Oh, that's very good. So right now, this month, I feel like there's some deep conversations. There could also be some indication to something that was sort of like raw, or something that was, how do I explain this? So something was like stripped down, right? I don't know when this was, but something had been stripped down, like sort of down to the bone. You know what I mean? Like got rid of all the excess fat, got down to the meat of it, I guess. Food oriented here, using an analogy. Once that happened, then it's like there's a whole rebirth energy, or like something. Can you see what I'm talking about here? Like this Scorpio energy, it seems, again, stripped down, or something is, again, somebody has minimized something here. Once that happens, then see all this growth, it's reminding me, it feels like the scorpion is like up underneath here, right? And the scorpion actually turns into the snake. So something's elevating or moving into a new stage of evolution. Interesting. I guess for some of you, if you haven't stripped down something lately, like this could be a really good time to minimize, or to kind of get down to brass tacks about something. Let's see. We have Mars and Cancer. Mars and Cancer, how do I explain this? Oh, there's a few different stories. So there's something sexual here too, but I guess that's another story. Someone could be feeling better about themselves sexually. Like maybe a person's just feeling more attractive, or they're speaking in more of a way that's like empowering to a person. Maybe someone else is also speaking. I heard someone speaking someone's language. So that's helping a person to feel more understood also. Interesting, Taurus. Oh yeah, someone's gaining their courage, like their power back. And there's, again, speaking from a place of empowerment. I do feel like it's also a good time to be talking about what you want to immerse yourself in. And maybe that's part of what the stripped down energy is like, I heard, let me look over what, I guess this is the sentence I see someone trying to get out. They're like, I want to look over, like, what am I working with here? What feels good to me? What's a little frustrating? Hold on. There's some kind of communication also. Because Mercury and Scorpio to me is very much like someone who can put the pieces together. You know what I mean? They're like, all right, this makes sense to me. This is what's necessary. It's like Mercury and Scorpio can really, it's a person that can see the fine details in something. You know, it will pick up on something that someone else can't. Most people wouldn't necessarily pick up on. You know, it's like, oh, it could be in the realm of like, oh, here's a spelling error, you know, or like, oh, here, oh, you forgot to sign right there. But either way, in a general sense, I guess you're picking up on that which most people don't pick up on. And that's actually helping you, because the undercurrent here is actually, this Mars in Cancer, I'm actually seeing is something that's where a person is feeling more strong. This is also really heavy, like feminine, masculine energy. So maybe your relationships with the opposite sex are also becoming easier to talk about, or maybe a person's learning to communicate more about what they want in their professional life and also in their private, intimate world. I would say if some of you are also working on a secret project, or like have been working on something, could be creatively because you're you, Taurus, but either way, there's like this thing that's been happening in the background. You've probably been doing it at home, right? Or like home, I heard home zone. I want to write that down. Just a second. Home zone. Yeah, and there's a lot of energy in that. I would say if you're working on something like, again, behind the scenes, there's something about April, May, June that's really important, and then it goes into like you'll be finished by something, but by June. February and August are also important to this some way, somehow. Now, little tidbit, because sometimes Mercury and Scorpio can be like, let's touch on a few different things. Mercury and Scorpio can say, okay, I have these really deep feelings, but I don't know how to communicate them, because Scorpio is silent. Most of the animals of Scorpio are silent, and then Mercury is about communication. So, and Mars in Cancer can also speak of, I have a lot of feelings, right? Mercury in Scorpio, I'm thinking a lot, I'm feeling a lot, I want to communicate it, but I don't know how. Mars in Cancer can be, I have a lot of feelings, but I don't know where to put them, or like how to put them. I think this is why something needs to get stripped down, or there needs to be space with something. You know, because maybe, for instance, if you have this big, I don't know if it's a big project or a big feeling or a big relationship or a big change you're going through, try as you may to like strip it down, right? Say you were worried, like, oh man, I'm kind of worried about my mother, right? Like, oh, I'm worried about my mom dying or something. That I don't know where this is coming from, but just these kinds of big things. Okay, let's go over it again. Whatever the big things that have to do with change, that I guess the first question you always want to ask yourself, Taurus, is this in my control? If the answer is no, there's the timer. I have 5 more minutes. Can you wait a second and we'll be right back? Because now we're in the middle of a big conversation. I can't just cut it off, right? We have to continue talking about it, at least till we get to the next stage, right? Be right back. Okay, we're back. If it is something that is in your control, it's a project you're working on, it's a business idea you're trying to launch, it is asking that person out, it is talking about what you want sexually, it is whatever. Let's see. Well, we're talking about resources and passion. Okay, so your money and your art, that's all you. What's going on with that? Apparently some of you are make money through your art, or you have an invitation to make money through your creation. At very least, a means of sharing what you do, and not hiding it away in some way. Maybe you want to nurture it. or give that some things. So again, if something's kind of big, right? Let's take it as the resource card. Let's say you're trying to launch a business. This is in your money that's your responsibility, right? So sorry, I just ran down the stairs and up the stairs trying to get, because I wanted to get to it. We only got 10 minutes. So, right, what do they say? It's like Shark Tank. Okay, if you're trying to do something and someone's like, hey, what are you doing? Concisely, right? What is it in a couple sentences that you're trying to do? Again, strip it down. It's not about selling yourself exactly. It's about simplifying something so you can recognize that I heard, have something like more time for something else. Some of you have been creating something in the background that is so valuable. And again, I see this launching energy. It's like sort of like a catapult. So you have to someone has to use effort, use both hands, and pull it towards yourself. Pull it into yourself. And then you have to aim, right? Where's it going? What are you trying to do? Then you let go. And when you do, then that catapults you. I heard that catapults you, or it, to you and it, I guess, to the next space. And then I saw someone pick that up, put that back in the catapult, and then was able to do it again. So something about leaps, like big leaps and bounds with something. And so I want you to feel confident. Maybe some of you just need to, I heard, put some parameters around the language that you're using for what you're creating. It's interesting, parameters around the language you're trying to... Or I heard someone just say, I feel good about this. I feel good about this. Something about a stained glass window. Stained glass. If you do have a partner right now and you haven't talked about money recently, I feel like that's also important. Pallas Athena, she's all about approaching things logically, right? If this is a business partner, that may be something you'd want to discuss. Maybe some conversation could also pollinate some new energy. Do you know what I mean? Where it's just like, hey, I've been feeling like this. I heard, don't hide away what's changing, because whatever the communication is, this Mercury energy, that really gets things moving. And midheaven. Again, that's also a very important part of your map. 9th, 10th house. Maybe you want to look at that. I don't know if you have a personal star there or if there's something transiting that's important. I guess this also represents during this time frame Capricorn energy, right? In a general sense. So what we're talking about is this is a time to think about what we're going to build. Like what we have been building. I heard what needs some dusting off and a little bit of rearrangement, and then what the long-term goal is too, because some of you, what am I seeing? Well, I heard you've already gone about it, whatever this it is, in a certain way. And I don't think it's necessarily trying to do the opposite of what you've been doing, like do a complete 180 with anything. I don't think it's about that. I think it's more of like being more in control of the joystick. Do you know what I mean? It's like, you're like, okay, let me see if I just angle this a little bit this one way. Because someone, I guess the different language around what you're trying to create with too, it could be now, it could be in the future. I feel like, again, the language around it is what creates the motion, the language and the feeling. Because you know how sometimes we say things, people say things, but it's the feeling doesn't match the words. This is where the feelings, the words match the feelings, and that in itself, again, creates the catapult. Yeah, there's Sagittarian, like, super energy, right? But again, to do this, we have to pull it in towards ourselves, aim, breathe, and then let go. Right? We have to let it go and see what it does. So maybe for some of you, there's like a testing period, like a test run, or April's, did we say April's really important here? Especially February to April. I feel like it would be very helpful for you, Taurus, to write down kind of like maybe before you go to bed or like at the end of your day, like your work day, you know, all the things are kind of done, if you will. If you just sit down and write like what you learned today. Like, what did I learn today? Could be something real simple. What did I learn? How did I feel most of the day? You know, how did I feel? How do I feel? And then what did I do? I feel like if you go over those three things, this is going to help you in ways of your vision. And I'm being reminded of Leo energy and where they talked about this key with the door. Okay? And I feel like in the future, let's see. What is that? Hold on a second. Pisces rising. So you have an intuitive knowing. Again, this Mercury and Scorpio, you have this very intuitive knowing. It's like you can feel it in your bones. Like you can feel it in your soul. You don't have to wait for the light to turn green. It's a stop sign. You can just go. Like you can go to the next. We didn't even talk about this before. All right. I guess here's the message from you to I. I to you. I hope this was of service, Taurus. Thank you so much for being a part of this place. I'm going to go check on my peppers. I appreciate you so much. Thank you. Any of you who are growing in this space, if you've taken any extra effort to plant your seeds in the garden, our private community over on Patreon, I really appreciate that. There's been a bunch of cool new people over there, some really, really rad folks, so thanks if you've taken that extra step. I'm also expanding that space a little bit, where I'll actually be offering some new things the middle of the year, or excuse me, the middle of the month. My timer just went off. We'll talk more about that soon. Anyway, take care. Peace.